Right now, on to the point. Businesses across California closing their doors in solidarity with immigration policy protests.
With our power, with our money.
This as ICE reportedly makes an arrest in Lincoln. Tonight, what we know about the targeted operation.
Tracking more weather impact alert days as a big plume of moisture heads our way. Colder storms in the forecast.
Trump takes on California water policy as experts question the decision to release water in the Central Valley.
It was a mystery to all of us who looked at it because not a drop of that water will make it to Southern California.
Plus confusion and concerns as Trump's tariff plans are put on hold. And later, our investigation into Highlands Community Charter and Technical Schools. What a new audit is revealing. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. On to the point. I'm Alex Bell. Tonight, we are tracking a weather impact alert. This is a live look at downtown Sacramento and I-80 at Donner Summit. We have another atmospheric river that's moving in. It's bringing us more rain in the valley and then snow in the Sierra. So let's go ahead and bring in Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods joining us tonight, tracking the latest conditions.
Well,
Monica.
You saw those headlights on the road there, Alex, up at Donner. It's kind of glistening, but I did just check the recent temperatures, and the current readings are hovering right about the freezing mark. So we're seeing a real mixed bag up there in the high country. We've got those weather impact alert headlines on Tuesday and Thursday. Heavy rain, snow, and windy conditions. Be flood ready, and major mountain impacts coming in with this line of storms. Right now, like I said, 80-50 corridor, a real mixed bag as you head up into the high country. Band of rain getting ready to press through the valley. The biggest impacts right now along I-80 and points northward, as well as through the northern part of the Sacramento Valley, where we've seen periods of some more moderate rainfall coming in. Still have that flood watch in effect through Wednesday morning. More nuisance flooding, but the potential for mud and rock slides continues. Wind advisory also in place all the way through tomorrow afternoon. Wind gusts 30 to 40 plus miles per hour in the valley. And then for the high country, it is a winter storm warning with major mountain impacts. We'll see the biggest line of rain moving through just before the midnight hour. Spotty showers throughout the valley for the morning commute. Much bigger rain coming in for the afternoon. We got to talk those winds too. That's coming up.
All right, Monica, thank you so much. Yes, you'll have your full forecast coming up a little bit later in the show. And also, just so you know, you can stream the latest weather and news and also our extended forecast. It's all for free on the ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. All right, tonight, Trump's planned tariffs on goods from Mexico and Canada, they have been paused for at least a month. It comes after Trump today spoke with Mexico's president and Canada's prime minister, coming to a series of agreements. Mexico has promised to reinforce the border with 10,000 National Guard troops to prevent drug trafficking, and the U.S. says it will work to prevent the trafficking of high-powered weapons to Mexico. Trump says there is still more to work out over the next month before imposing tariffs. And then Canada also promising to reinforce their side of the border. China was also hit with 10% tariffs on top of those already in place from Trump's first term. They are still slated to go into effect tomorrow. All of this has caused a lot of uncertainty for consumers and businesses alike, and that includes small businesses right here in Sacramento. This auto repair shop in Midtown Sacramento is locally owned. It is a small business, but their parts come from all over the world. Future orders could be impacted by the Trump administration's tariffs on goods from China.
Until now, I didn't really ever think to look exactly where my parts were coming from, like who made the parts.
The manager said that if part prices go up, that expense will likely be passed on to the customer in one form or another. Today, while in the Oval Office, President Donald Trump spoke about California's water again, claiming our water is coming from Canada and the state is now getting unlimited water. I asked a California water policy expert if any of this is true. California's water, a complicated system that's been in the spotlight since President Donald Trump took office. Today, President Trump claiming again that California receives water from Canada.
I don't know if you saw the pictures that were released of the water pouring down from the Pacific Northwest and Canada and lots of other places. And it's a pretty amazing sight.
Jeffrey Mount, a founding director of the Center for Watershed Sciences at UC Davis and PPIC senior fellow, says it's simply not true.
We do not get a drop of water from Canada or Oregon, for that matter. I mean, our nearest neighbor. We do get some water out of the Colorado River, but we take it out of the Colorado River in California. So really, we're a self-sufficient, self-contained state, which actually makes us a little unique in the West.
Trump recently signed an executive order calling for federal agencies to come up with a plan to, quote, ensure adequate water resources in Southern California. The president continues to insist more water from the north would have helped with the Los Angeles fires. But Mount says
the executive order was somehow connected to fires in Southern California. And the federal government does not deliver any water to Southern California. They only deliver it as far south as the southern San Joaquin Valley. So that was very confusing to many people.
Under the direction of the executive order, the Army Corps of Engineers, who operate several large dams in the Tulare Basin, which are located in the Central Valley, began releasing water last week.
This water ran down the channels below the dams and out into the fields where nobody's growing any crops, nobody's irrigating anything. So it was a mystery to all of us who looked at it, because not a drop of that water will make it to Southern California, not one drop.
Today, President Trump also saying his executive order is
giving Los Angeles and the entire state of California virtually unlimited water, which they could have done 5 years ago.
Mount says that an unlimited water supply is simply unheard of. I want to go ahead now and switch to immigration, because across California, protests were held today for a day without immigrants. It's a national movement aimed at showing the importance of immigrants in the U.S. The campaign, which condemns President Donald Trump's mass deportation plan, calls for immigrants and supporters to stay home. Now, several businesses and street vendors, they closed today in solidarity with these protests. Reporter Lena Howland spoke to one business owner in the Bay Area about why he decided to close his shop.
Storefronts look a little different in San Francisco Monday morning. This restaurant in the Mission closed, and street vendors that would normally line Mission Street mostly gone.
It's not to affect businesses. It's just to prove we are car with our power, with our money, we can contribute to this country, to the economy.
Rodrigo Lopez is president of the Mission Street Vendors Association, who works as a street vendor himself. But on Monday, he chose not to work, standing in solidarity of a day without immigrants. This is an annual day of protest, but it was moved up a few months in response to President Trump's immigration policies, with no school, no work, and no shopping.
We played almost the same role like everyone. We pay taxes, we buy houses, we buy cars, we spend money every single day like everybody else. It is no difference. We are the same.
Organizers say the goal behind this day of action is to highlight the vital role of immigrants in the U.S. economy. They say an estimated 31 million migrants contribute significantly to the nation's workforce. And Lopez doesn't believe every immigrant should be categorized as an illegal criminal.
Maybe there's a small fortune of people that can be bad actors, they can do the wrong things. But like I say, the majority of these immigrants, there are families, they're working to make it legal. And we here because we got a dream. We here because we want a better life for ourselves and our families.
And he hopes this day of action happening across the country will send a bigger message to the Trump administration.
Yeah, there has to be control on the border. Yeah, we agree. Everyone's agreed to be control over that. But there gotta be a way, a different way, not the way just right now. Everyone is so fair.
And tonight, officials in Lincoln have confirmed the presence of ICE agents in the city over the weekend. This video was sent to ABC 10 by a driver who witnessed 3 unmarked cars park behind a red car and walk with a man in handcuffs. The mayor told ABC 10 today they were notified that the federal agency was in Lincoln looking for a sex offender who was also an illegal immigrant. A spokesperson for ICE says the agency does not share operational information due to safety concerns. Still ahead, on To the Point, what a new audit is revealing about Highlands Community Charter and Technical Schools.
Big plume of moisture heading in from the Pacific, tracking 2 more atmospheric rivers this week.
Plus, one of the biggest insurance companies in the state requesting a rate increase. How much more homeowners could soon have to pay? All right, it is still a wet week ahead. Let's go ahead and bring in Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods to get a look at our forecast. Bring your umbrellas. That's the headline, right?
Who's really dodging those drops for this week. It's going to be on and off. We will see some pockets of opportunity to get those errands done. But tonight, it's all about this band of rain heading our way right now, just up to the north of us, but due to move through overnight tonight through our Tuesday. Plus, we've got the windy weather ahead for Tuesday. One of those days you're trying to use the umbrella and it just kind of flips upside down because those wind gusts up to about 30 to even at times 40 plus miles per hour. This will be mainly during the afternoon. Sierra wind gusts upwards of 70 miles per hour. As that cold front presses on through, we'll see lowering snow levels as well as the gusty winds kind of translate their way into the high country. Again, this all gets going overnight tonight. So we're going to have rain for the morning commute, snow for the morning commute, heavier rain for the evening commute with snow ongoing Tuesday night into early Wednesday. Then we get a bit of a break on Wednesday, but due to move through the next weather system. This is a quicker one that will move through, but one that is colder and brings our snow level down to near 3,000 feet by early Friday. Back edge of this moves through during the day, and then it's off to some drier weather. But we'll pick up nearly 2 to 4 inches of rain accumulated today through Thursday evening in the valley, closer to about 3 to 4 inches of rain for the foothills. And then for the Sierra, anywhere from 1 to 3 feet of new snow by the time we get to our Friday evening, early Saturday forecast. And that means some great skiing and snowboarding as we head towards the weekend. In the meantime, got to get through these next couple of systems. Tuesday, we'll see rain, heavy at times, windy weather as well. We get a break on Wednesday, right back to that weather impact alert on Thursday. Much colder. Look at that afternoon high. 52 degrees. That's what's going to help drive down that snow line as well. Then we get into our Friday forecast, a few very light showers in the morning, dry for our Saturday and Sunday. And as we reveal the rest of the 10-day forecast, a lot less red up there with less weather impact alert days. And we'll see a dry weekend and a dry start to next week.
All right, Monica, thank you. Still ahead on To the Point, a major insurance company requesting a rate hike following the LA wildfires, how much it could cost you, plus a new audit of Highlands Community Charter and Technical Schools. Tonight, the new concerns about whether students are getting the education they were promised. Welcome back. Let's turn now to the home insurance crisis. Tonight, State Farm is seeking an emergency rate increase following the Los Angeles wildfires. The company asked the California Department of Insurance today to immediately approve an interim rate increase, averaging about 22% for homeowners. State Farm says as of February 1st, it has received more than 8,000 claims and paid out more than $1 billion. The company says it needs the interim rate increases approved to help, quote, help avert a dire situation for customers and the insurance market in California.
6 months ago, they asked for an emergency rate increase, which means that they're trying to not bypass, but they're using a certain part of the regulations to try and expedite a rate increase. And that was a request for 30%. Now we have the wildfires, and they hold a disproportionate number of homes that are in the brush. So because of that, they're now turning around saying, look, we need that 30%, and now we need this additional increase as well to try and stay solvent.
We reached out to the California Department of Insurance for comment. They responded saying in part, quote, State Farm General's rate filings raise serious questions about its financial conditions. The department will investigate these rate applications thoroughly to ensure Californians are charged the appropriate justified rates as required under Proposition 103. And the To the Point team spent months digging into the home insurance crisis, hearing from homeowners, Congress members, and the insurance commissioner himself about how we got to this point and what could be done to help. You can stream this special investigation right now on the ABC 10 Plus streaming app. Just look for California's insurance crisis on the home screen. All right, tonight, a new audit reveals some serious issues at Highlands Community Charter and Technical Schools, raising concerns about whether adult students are getting the education that they were promised. Now, this audit was prompted by ABC 10's 2-year investigation. The school district that conducted the audit and is supposed to provide oversight to Highlands gets millions of dollars from the school for authorizer fees. Many question whether this audit can be trusted and say more needs to be done. So I want to go ahead and bring in ABC 10 investigative reporter Andy Judson. She joins us now with more.
Yeah, Alex, the audit released today backs up concerns uncovered in our investigation, the Wild West of Education, raised by more than 40 current and former Highlands employees. And now, more than ever, whistleblowers are coming forward. Tonight, we break down the audit's findings and what these sources have to say.
This feels like a mess.
Errors and confusion in taking attendance.
Everyone's coming up with their own rules just to keep themselves sane.
Employees not properly trained or credentialed.
So does that mean that 100 days the student went to class, they weren't being taught by a credentialed teacher?
Absolutely.
Massive class sizes, some rosters exceeding 400 students. These are all findings from an audit released Monday that reviewed the operations of Highlands, an adult charter school for in-person and online learning, and the focus of ABC 10's investigation, the Wild West of education. It's concerning but not surprising, former employees and students say.
What is malice versus what is a lack of training?
The audit confirms allegations employees have been bringing to ABC 10 for the past 2 years, especially attendance issues.
So one of the problems was that you couldn't be sure who was signing in or who was signing in for who.
60% of teachers interviewed by the auditor said they saw students regularly sign in and leave immediately.
And if you aren't there for those hours, you shouldn't be getting those funds. Those are the rules.
Aguirre says she alerted management of attendance problems in 2016.
I knew something was wrong.
9 years later, these issues persist. The audit suggests Highlands likely overreported attendance as a key reason why. Meanwhile, students have not received the legally required classroom hours. The audit found they were short by over 6,500 minutes.
I was next to a teacher who had to frequently leave early, and my students would watch his students just leave.
Yet some of these very issues were also flagged in a different audit of Highlands 7 years ago. So why have they not been fixed? Sources say the problem lies with Twin Rivers Unified School District, the entity responsible for overseeing Highlands.
A lot of the problems have been about Twin Rivers tolerating, if not being complicit, in Highlands' behavior.
Not only does Twin Rivers profit from Highlands, but they also conducted this newly released audit only after ABC 10's reporting pushed them to take action. So can they truly be trusted to hold Highlands accountable?
I don't think they can, no.
Stevens left Highlands just last week. While still an employee, he met with Twin Rivers auditor and reported a serious issue. His students were marked as present for periods he never recorded them attending.
All of them, perfect attendance. I would never have allowed that. And on top of that, this month had spring break. There were no classes. I would not have awarded attendance. I did not award attendance.
Stevens provided ABC 10 with the documentation that shows a student with perfect attendance during this period, and his own documentation, 2 very different attendance records. Yet none of this was in the audit.
I feel like it glosses over the problems. It focuses purely on the ADA portion. That's not the only problem here.
Like retaliation, dozens of employees have told ABC 10 they've tried to bring issues up with management, but
if you spoke up, you would get shut down.
The issues at Highlands aren't about the teachers or students, it's about leadership.
A lot of the people in higher positions don't have the credentials to do better.
The audit revealed major failures in oversight, comparing the school's operations to building the plane while flying it.
You can't do that. You need the plane.
Their message to Highlands leadership: do better for students.
These are the most vulnerable populations of our community. How dare we sell them on these pretty lies?
Highlands said it is committed to addressing all findings in the report and has new procedures to ensure compliance with the district's recommendations. Now, we reached out to Highlands, Twin Rivers, and the California Department of Education for interviews in response to the audit's filings. Highlands declined the interview, but said in part, Twin Rivers Unified School District found no evidence of attendance fraud at Highlands Community Charter and Technical Schools. And Twin Rivers and the Department of Education did not respond. We do have the entire audit and Highlands response at abc10.com. And it's worth noting another audit by the California State Auditor is still being conducted and is expected to be released in the summer. Alex?
Andy, thank you so much. And you can watch all episodes of The Wild West of Education. It is streaming right now on our ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. All you have to do is just look for ABC 10's Originals playlist, and it's under the News tab. Next, on To The Point, we're going to give you a sneak peek for what we're working on for tomorrow. Stay with us. A scientific breakthrough could save lives in America's fentanyl crisis, and the team who developed it is based in Stockton at University of the Pacific. So tomorrow, hear about this discovery that can reverse and protect against overdoses in a revolutionary new way. It's a story that you definitely do not want to miss. As always, thank you so much for watching and for inviting us into your home. If you have something we should be looking into, you already know what to do. Reach out to me and the team. Remember, strangers are just people we haven't gotten the chance to meet yet, so take the time to get to know someone. And also take the time to stream To The Point on our ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app.